Before we get into the topic of today's session, if you think about our busy day to day lives, our lives are always surrounded by data every single day. So let me ask you all a quick question. How many of you checked the time on your phone before joining this webinar? Almost everybody, right? That is data. Or how many of you checked the weather to decide if you needed an umbrella before stepping out of your home today? Again, that is data guiding a decision here. Even something as simple as buying a mattress. What do? We look at the reviews, compare the prices, maybe even read about sleep studies before finally picking one. That's analytics at play in our personal lives every day. Now, if data is influencing even the smallest of decisions in our personal lives, just imagine the scale at which it surrounds a business. Every lead in CRM, every invoice in Zoho Books, every campaign click, every support ticket, it is all data waiting to be understood. But here's the catch. Raw data alone doesn't mean much. Just like you wouldn't buy a mattress by only looking at the color, businesses cannot make decisions by only looking at one piece of information. We need context, patterns, and connections. And that is where analytics comes in. It transforms the scattered numbers into real stories. And if you think about it, the world around us is already showing us powerful examples of analytics in action. So take the COVID-19 pandemic. Every single decision that the governments and the health organizations made, like with the lockdowns, vaccination drives, travel rules, all of them were based on analytics. The infection curves, the positivity rates, the hospitalization trends, these powerful dashboards became the guiding compasses. So without analytics, we would have been completely blind in making life-saving decisions. So another example comes from science. Let's talk about DNA sequencing. Our entire genetic code is essentially billions of data points, but it is only through advanced analytics that researchers can find patterns, detect mutations, and even predict hereditary diseases. So without analytics, that raw DNA sequence is just noise. And with analytics, it becomes life-saving knowledge. So whether it is navigating a pandemic or decoding the human genome or even our day-to-day lives, analytics has been the center of discovery and decision making. Businesses are no different, right? Every Zoho One application you use, for example, Zoho CRM, Zoho Books, Zoho Desk, campaigns, and many more, they all come with their own pre-built reports and dashboards. And these are incredibly helpful to monitor the day-to-day activities and keep a pulse on what's happening. But for deeper analysis, for blending data across the applications, and for discovering trends and hidden connections, these pre-built reports cannot always reveal them. And that is where Zoho Analytics steps in as your specialized tool. And that's exactly what we're going to see today in this session. So let us all explore how Zoho Analytics helps you not just see the surface, but dive deep into the data, uncover the patterns, and present the insights in ways that would drive smarter decisions. So let me bring you all closer to this with our business story. Meet Trendy Cart, a fast-growing e-commerce which is selling clothing, electronics, home appliances, and many more products. So Trendy Cart is already running on Zoho One. They use CRM for sales, books for finance, Zoho campaigns for marketing, desk for support, people for HR, and many more. So as you all know, all of these applications have inbuilt analytics module with pre-built reports that gives elaborate insights on the dashboards within that specific applications. And these reports and dashboards are handy to understand what is going on within each application. So here in the screen, I have listed a few of the sample reports that each application provides. For example, in CRM, we have the sales funnel, lead conversion, activity insights. Similarly, in books, we have profit and loss, cash flow, tax reports, item-wise reports. In Zoho Desk, we have ticket trends, resolution times, agent performance, and so on in projects and campaigns. But here's the problem. Even though they have these built-in reports, a trendy cart is outgrowing these basic reports. They're not satisfied with these default dashboards anymore because they've grown as a business, and with growth comes new kind of questions. Like they just want to know, like, do our marketing campaigns directly impact the repeat purchases, or is our inventory aligned with predicted demand? So these aren't just simple questions. These are questions that require deeper and more customized analysis. So what Trendycart has been doing is, like most other businesses, they had to do the things the hard way. So to see the full story, they started exporting each module or report separately from each application from Zoho. They dumped them all into an Excel sheet, wrote complex formulas to connect them, and spent hours and hours adjusting the columns and cleaning data. And the moment they had a report ready and they wanted the updated numbers, they had to repeat the entire process again from scratch. Because, if you look at into this process, there are multiple pain points. So the entire process is tedious and manual, and hence it is prone to errors. And the worst of all is there is no real-time data coming in. So they realize that this is clearly not the best approach. To help them, Zoho Analytics comes into action. So with the advanced capabilities of Zoho Analytics, they're able to look into deeper insights. So Zoho Analytics is a modern self-service BI and analytics platform that is included in the Zoho One suite of applications. So with just a one-time integration, data from CRM, books, campaigns, and even external data sources all connect with Zoho Analytics. Data from all these sources flows automatically into Zoho Analytics without you even lifting a finger. And the dashboards stay updated in real time. And finally, you can focus on making decisions out of data rather than creating spreadsheets. So first, let me give you a quick overview on Zoho Analytics. So essentially, the various capabilities of the platform can be bucketed into three segments. So the first, we have the bucket that is data import and preparation. So you can import data from more than 500 data sources. So this could be files, feeds, cloud storage, cloud database, local databases, and a range of popular business applications as well. So once you import the data into the platform, you are offered with a powerful suite of data preparation capabilities that would help you transform the data into suitable format for further analysis. So that brings me to the second bucket of the capabilities, that is visual analysis. So with the platform, you have access to numerous pre-built reports and dashboards that give you a jump start on analytics. And you can also always create your own custom reports using the drag and drop interface or the ML-powered AI assistant. And furthermore, you have access to over 50 plus data visualization options. This could be geomaps, bar charts, heat map, spark lines, racing charts, and so on that can use as suited for a particular data to transform it into analytics. So once you have your visual analysis done and have the insights ready, we arrive at the final leg of analysis, that is a collaboration. So this is where you share and embed views across various channels in a variety of formats to share the insights with your stakeholders and teams. And over and above that, the platform also offers native data storytelling capability like slideshows, which could give you an extra edge while sharing reports and dashboards. So let me give you a quick demo on the very first step here, which is data import. So when I say I bring in data from different Zoho Analytics applications into one place. I'm talking about the import or the integration between other applications with Zoho Analytics. So I'm here in my Zoho Analytics application interface. This is the screen I get when I sign in. And these are all workspaces listed. So workspaces are collection of all the data tables, reports, dashboards that you have. So at the top right, when I click on import your data, I choose my organization. And these are all the different data sources that I was talking about. And these are categorized into different sections for easy access as well. So I search for my source. Today I'm going to show you how to bring in data from Zoho CRM. So I select the Zoho CRM source. Let's give it a minute. I select Zoho CRM. I choose the Zoho CRM organization that I am a part of. And I then go ahead and choose the modules that I would want for reporting purpose. So these are the modules that you have in your Zoho CRM application. So I select the modules with the fields within them. And once I'm done with selecting all the modules and fields that I would want for reporting purpose, I then go ahead and schedule the data sync. So Zoho Analytics offers a minimum data sync frequency of 1 hour. So every hour, data from your Zoho CRM would sync into Zoho Analytics. So once I click create, a Zoho CRM workspace would be created. So let me just show you. I have already set up my CRM connection here. And this is how the CRM workspace would look like. I would have all the modules listed as tables and the fields within the modules listed as columns within the table. So similarly, you can bring in your Zoho Books, Zoho Campaign, Zoho Desk, or any application that you want into Zoho Analytics Workspace. So the thumb rule here is to make sure that all the different data sources are integrated within the same workspace. Because ultimately, we are going to create cross-functional analytics. So we would need to have access to all data sources within the same workspace. So yeah, this is how you bring in data from different workspaces. So now that we have the data import done, let's look into a few of the challenges that Trendycart encountered after they imported the data into their Zoho Analytics workspace. So Trendycart finds it difficult to combine or prepare and transform data. Because they have multiple questions, like the CEO wants to know which product categories are deriving repetitive customers, and the finance team wants to know how can we forecast our cash flow more accurately, and the marketing team in their business is curious as to which group of customers are their high spenders and how do they retain them. So now let's start looking into the features in Zoho Analytics, which helps answer or which helps derive answers to all these questions. These are the three options that Zoho Analytics provides in terms of data preparation and transformation. We call this as data blending. So the first option is defining lookup, second one being SQL queries, and the third one is pipelines. So let's get into the first option, defining lookup. So this is one of the methods to combine data, and this is by manually defining a lookup. So let me give you a quick demonstration. So what lookup means here is, if you know in Zoho CRM, the modules are interconnected using a lookup field. So similarly, lookup is nothing but a common key, like a common column between two or more tables that has unique data. So using this lookup column, two or more tables can be connected. So here, if you see, I have the accounts module from Zoho CRM, which has the account records IDs. And here I have the customers table. And this is from my Zoho books. So as you all know, accounts in Zoho CRM are basically the customers in your Zoho Finance, meaning in Zoho books. So now to connect them, I am using the ID columns from accounts table as a lookup column. This can be connected with the CRM reference ID here from Zoho Books customers. So I just come to the accounts table. I right click on the lookup column here. I select change to lookup column. So I choose my destination, which is CRM reference ID from the customers table from Zoho Books data. So I then save and close. Now the accounts table from Zoho CRM is connected with the customers table from Zoho Books. So it is not just connecting the accounts and customers, because customers table is in turn connected with multiple other Zoho finance tables. So if I click on more and manage lookups, you can see the multiple other tables that customers table is already connected with. So here, if you see, it's connected with the invoices, the sales orders, the estimates, recurring invoices, and many more. So the minute I connect CRM's accounts with customers, I also have access to all these looked up tables. So the same goes for CRM. So with the data from Zoho Books, I also have access to the accounts and the leads from which the accounts were converted, and the deals and other modules from Zoho CRM as well. So this is what defining lookup manually means. So using this way, you can connect multiple tables from different data sources. Now, sometimes you need even more flexibility. For example, a Trendy Cards data team wanted to know which customers purchased both fashion and electrical products in the last 6 months. To derive a solution for this question, they are using SQL query tables. So let me give you a quick demonstration on how the SQL query can be defined to derive an answer to this question. So here I have my customers table and also the products table. And if you see, the customer email column in customer products is connected with the customer email from customers. So this is the lookup column. So using this lookup column, we can go ahead and create a query. So I click on create a query table. And this is my query. So I'm selecting all the required columns, for example, customer names, orders, and others, and I'm joining it with products table based on the customer email, which is the lookup column. And to filter the data, I'm using where condition and is last n month functions. So that gives me or filters the category fashion and electronics and gives me the purchase date for the last 6 months. So if you see here, these are the built-in functions that Zoho Analytics provides. These includes aggregate functions, logical functions, date functions, and many more. So now when I save this query table, I get a new table that lists the customers who have purchased both fashion and electronic products in the last 6 months. Now, this insight helps them target cross-selling campaigns. So with SQL query tables, they simply wrote a query, pulled out the exact list, and they can create reports directly from this query table. So there is no more exporting to Excel or writing complex formulas. It is all native within Zoho Analytics. So now coming to the third method of combining data, it is what we call data pipelines. So let's consider a trendy cart has two separate data sets. The first one is a company table, which has the basic organization details. And the second, a leads table that's coming from CRM. So on their own, these tables would give partial insights. But when they are combined, they could reveal which type of companies were turning into high quality leads. So let's see how Trendy Cart combine these tables using pipeline. This is the pipeline builder where I can import the tables. I can then enrich it, fix all the quality issues, join them, and set up a pipeline. So I have the companies table here and the leads table, as I said before. Companies are coming from an external source, leads is coming from CRM. Now I'm going to join these tables. So once I join the tables, I'll select the join type. I now have the combined data here. Now I'm going to fix the issues, that is prepare the data. So here you can see, once I click on prepare data, so this is what we called data prep model. So here you can see the quality of the data columns. So if you see the quality bars, it is differentiated based on colors. Green meaning it's valid data, red meaning it's invalid data, and the gray meaning there are missing data. So let's see how using ask Zia feature, you can transform these data by asking questions in your natural language. But I'm asking Zia to remove duplicates from my email column and then delete the rows which ends with @gmail.com. So as soon as I click Zia, it understands the intent and gives a preview here in green. This is how the column would look like after the transformation is applied. So if you're okay with this transformation, you can go ahead and apply the changes. So that is how easy it is to fix and transform the data. And if these built-in transformation options are not enough or not suited, you can create your own custom transformation by including a Python transformation logic right inside the pipeline. So yeah, now that the transformation is done, I'm going to push the data to a destination. It could be Zoho Analytics itself or any other destination source like CRM, Creator, and elsewhere. And for now, I'm just adding this as a new table into Analytics itself. So the entire history is available in the version history tab here. So all that you have been doing within the pipeline, you have the entire history here. You can review what has been done, and if you're okay, you can mark the pipeline ready, meaning you can move this to production. Also, you can schedule this entire job here. And this is all automated. So you set up a data stream right from combining the data, preparing the data, meaning applying transformations over them, and finally importing them as a new table into your Zoho Analytics. And this is how data pipeline helps in orchestrate the data preparation and transformation process in Trendycart. So now Trendycart has all their data is in one place. They have combined data. So the next step is about making that data truly meaningful, because raw numbers don't always answer business questions. So we often need to create new metrics and formulas to meet a specific business use case. And that is where Zoho Analytics provides three different options. So the first one being formulas. For instance, Trendycart's CEO or CFO wanted to know the profit margin by product category, because sales numbers alone don't tell the full story. A product might sell a lot, but it has a thin margin. It may not actually be profitable. So using custom formulas, buckets, and unified metrics in Zoho Analytics, they calculated profit margin instantly, and the results were eye-opening. So let me show you each of these options with a live demo. Here I have my sales table, which has the sales and cost. So now to calculate the profit margin based on category, I click on add, and under formula, I choose formula column. Here, Zoho Analytics provide two different types of formulas. One is formula column and aggregate formula. The difference is a formula column is limited to one row at a time, meaning you can define a formula column and it would add a new physical column into an existing data set. Whereas aggregate formula considers the entire table data, and you will not have any physical columns created, but then you can use these aggregate formulas in future for creating reports, query tables, widgets, and many more. So I click on formula column here. and I name this as profit margin. So to calculate the margin, I'm defining or I'm selecting the sales subtracted with cost, and I divide this by sales. And to get the percentage, I'm multiplying it by 100. So this is how the profit margin calculation can be done. So once I save this, there is a new column created with the calculated profit margin. So with these numbers, trendy cards discovered that some of their best-selling fashion products were not bringing in or were bringing in lower profits compared to the electrical accessories. And few of the electrical accessories which weren't selling as much but had higher margins, right? So this a single formula changed how the finance team made pricing and promotional decisions. So this is formula for you. And next we get into the buckets feature. So now let's shift to the marketing team. So the marketing team did not just want to see the revenue numbers. They wanted to group uh, the customers into meaningful segments. So let me take you to another data set. So here I have all the customer information. And as I said, to group the customers into meaningful segments, Zoho buckets can become a game changer. So if you see here, I click on data again. I click on bucket column to create a new bucket. Since I have already created it, I'm editing the existing bucket. So I named it as badge. So if you see here, based on the total spend of the customers, I'm categorizing or grouping the customers into three different buckets. Meaning if the total spend is greater than 5,000, they are considered as gold, and between 2,000 to 4,000 silver, and if it's less than 2,000, it is bronze. So with these buckets, a trendy cart created this simple customer groups. So the high spenders are gold, the mid spenders are silver, and the low spenders are bronze. So this grouping of data allowed the marketing team to stop treating every customer the same, right? So if you see here, I have the buckets column available right here. Yeah, with these buckets, their marketing team can stop treating every customers the same, and for high spenders would get loyalty perks and even have early access to new launches. Mid spenders would receive targeted discounts, or maybe the low spenders would get awareness campaigns to increase the engagement. So instead of having one size fits all concept, trendy cards could now tailor the campaigns to each customer segment. And then, we have these multiple formulas and buckets created. So here is the problem arises here in trendy cards. So for example, sales team and finance team calculated or considered the profit or the revenue differently. So sales team calculated profit in a different attributes, and finance team calculated using different attributes. So to resolve this problem, Zoho Analytics has the unified metrics option. So if I click on data here, I have the unified metrics where you can see all the created metrics, all the formulas available in a single interface. So now with this, the sales team and finance team can have a look and see how exactly the revenue or the profit is being calculated. So this unified metrics ensures that everyone in the organization is speaking the same language. So this is all about creating custom matrices in Zoho Analytics before pushing the data to data visualization. So now that Trendycart has their data prepared and ready, the real magic happens when we bring the data into life. Because nobody in the company would want to see or would want to read the rows and rows of numbers. What they need are reports and visualization to make these complex data simple, intuitive, and actionable. So in Zoho Analytics, we are not limited to just bar charts and pie charts. We have over 50 plus visualization types, each report type serving a unique purpose. So from simple tabular reports for operational needs or a pivot table for slicing and dicing of data from different angles to advanced visualizations like heat maps, geographical maps, race charts, and many more that could help uncover the pattern. Because without these, we wouldn't see these patterns otherwise. So let's see two of the business use cases that Trendycart had and how creating these advanced reports helped them to arrive at an insight. So first is the finance team wanted an advanced chart, and the second one is their marketing team wanting an advanced chart. So let me take you to my analytics tab to give you a live demo. So here, the first use case, Trendycart's finance team wanted to track the profitability trends across the product categories over time. So this report here gives you the total profit grouped by the time period, categorized by the product category. So this is what we call a combination chart. A simple table wouldn't cut into these many features, right? So they built a combination chart showing revenues as bars and profit margin as a line. So these are layered together. So this gave them instant visibility into which categories were generating high revenue but low profit so that they could take immediate action on pricing strategies. So this is what we call a combination chart. Similar to this, we have multiple report types. So here is a tree map to visualize the same data. So this is how a tree report would look like. And here we have the sunburst chart. So this is something grouping the data based on concentric circles. And then we have the race chart. So this is like animated view of how the profit has been performing based on category over time. So yeah, these are all the different chart types that Zoho Analytics provides. And within this chart, you can always view the underlying data because here is this number. But if you want to see the actual data behind it, you can just click on underlying data and it would give you the actual data behind each bars. And you can also drill down the data. For example, this is being grouped by date. I can go ahead, drill down by any other columns in the table, maybe by region or category. So now let's come to the second use case, where on the marketing side, they had another challenge of understanding how the customers' engagement were across region. So instead of a basic chart, they used a geo map visualization. So this is the geo map. I have grouped the data by country and by states. So to group the data by having more than one location columns, you can always enable layers. So I can have two different layers of location. One is by country, one is by state, and I get to know the amount categorized by the product category. This is how the report would look like. And with this report, the team could see that at the glance, which states are contributing most to the profit. And this insights directly shaped where to increase the marketing spend in future. So these are all the different reporting options that we have. And once the reports are created, they can be added into a single interface, which is what we call a dashboard. So here in the dashboard, I can have multiple metrics added in a single view. So if you see, I have multiple metrics added, each serving a specific use case. So this is how a dashboard would look like. So now these reports and dashboards gives the present and the past data. But Trendicard is now just interested in understanding, is not just interested in understanding the past and present. They also want to peek into the future. And that is where forecasting comes into play. So Zoho Analytics comes with a forecasting feature. So let me give you a quick demonstration. So the chart you see on the screen is basically a website traffic, a trend. I'm grouping it by date, by months. So I go to the settings, click on forecast, and I choose the dependent numbers. So these dependent or influencing factors are the columns which would influence the forecasted number. For any number to be forecasted, there will be multiple depending factors, right? Now, Zoho Analytics allows you to choose these dependent factors or influencing factors. Yeah, I then go ahead and apply the forecast. So here I have data only till July 2024. With forecast, I get to know the future data. And here is the details on the forecast model, how the forecast numbers are being calculated. So yeah, with this forecasting feature, the marketing team can then, project expected website traffic for the upcoming quarter or years, and based on the past traffic patterns. This would help the leadership team to plan the marketing strategies, to manage or to make their budgets more confident. But here's the flip side. While this forecasting features tells you what is likely to happen in future, businesses also need to know when there is something unexpected is happening. So that is where anomaly detection becomes powerful. So analytics also provides anomaly detection feature. Let me give you a quick demonstration. It is the same website traffic report that I showed you previously for the forecasting. So I click on the settings here. Under analysis, I click on the anomaly. So I add anomaly, give a name for it. And this is where I choose the ML model to arrive at the anomaly prediction. So you can choose the ML, the RPCA based method model, or you can also use statistical models. So it provides IQR, Z-score, percentile, and custom figures also. I choose the direction of anomaly and I apply. And here you see, in case if there is any anomaly, it would be notified or it would be reflected here in the report with this marker that we chose. So we now know that there is an anomaly happening in my data sets. And with these anomaly, you can notify other users or other leadership members in your organization. So as soon as an anomaly is detected, you can notify other users via email, or via Click, Slack, or any other methods. This is how anomaly detection helped Trendy Card to spot unusual spikes in returns. Maybe if there is any unusual spikes, or if there is any delay in the delivery, or if there is any uh, dip in the sales. All these can be predicted using anomaly. And then instead of waiting for the problem to grow, the team can act quickly, trace the reason, the root cause of the issue, and fix it before it could damage their brand reputation. This is how anomaly or predictive analysis helps in Zoho Analytics. Next, let us talk about cluster analysis. So cluster analysis is a method used in data analysis to group similar data points based on specific factors or similarities across multiple measures and dimensions. So each cluster would contain data points that are more similar to each other or than to those in other clusters based on the attributes that we can select. So here, if you see in this report, I have the cost and sales data of the customers, cost against the sales. Now I click on settings, analytics, and I add a cluster. I am grouping them based on different attributes, for example, say by profit and by the age of the customers. I then go ahead and choose the number of clusters I want. And yeah, I choose the ML model and then apply the clustering. So now the data is being grouped by different colors. So with this, I get to know or see the group of data based on the different attributes that I have. So yeah, this is all about having visualization, creating reports, or having forecasting feature, predicting anomaly, and also clustering the data. So now that we have reports and dashboards created, the next step is sharing these reports to your teams or other stakeholders. So when it comes to sharing, Zoho Analytics has multiple options. So you can have the dashboards reports shared directly to a user by choosing them, or you can have an iframe link, have the embedded code, or have the reports embedded in your websites, blogs, or any website applications. You can generate a private and public links. Also, you can export data in different formats like PDF, CSV. You can also export the dashboards as PPT. So these are all the various sharing options. So yeah, by now TrendyCart has gone a long way from blending and preparing the data to creating advanced reports, forecasting trends and detecting anomalies. But here's the reality. Not everyone in the company is a data expert. For example, the sales manager or the marketing head or the operations team. What if they don't want to build queries and design reports? So to help them, Zia comes into action. Zia is Zoho's AI assistant. In today's world, AI isn't just a buzzword, right? It is reshaping how businesses operate, from predicting customer needs to automating repetitive works. So Zoho Analytics has its own integration with Zia. It offers two features, which is Ask Zia and Zia Insights. So let me give you a quick demonstration on both. So think of Zia as having a smart analyst in your team, the one that's available 24/7, right? You can literally just ask Zia a question in your native language or in plain English. For example, if I may show you, I can ask which categories had the highest sales. It would give me the category. It would create the report for me. All I have to do is just ask questions, and Zia answers and even creates reports and dashboards for me. I can go ahead and directly save these reports. So this is how Zia is helping create reports on behalf of you. So the other feature is Zia Insights. So here I have the report, which is the profit based on product category over time. So when I click on Insights, Zia Insights at the top right here, let's give it a minute. Here is Zia Insights. So with Zia Insights, we get to know in-depth analysis and insights over this existing report. With just a click of a button, Zia Insights provide deeper data insights. If you see here, we have the lowest profit number and the highest profit number, the highest year-over-year increase in profit, which was in 2019, and the decline was in the year 2024, and the corresponding percentage. So if I click on diagnose here, it tells you how Zia is arriving at this number and how it is calculating it. So I can just choose to diagnose the data even more. So here it tells you what are the columns that it used, how it categorized the numbers. So this is Zia Insights. So this is a textual manner of or contextual manner of seeing those insights. And here is a graphical representation as well. If you look into this, each of this insight, if Zia Insight is not available, to arrive at each of this insight, you would have required to create individual reports on your own. So yeah, with Zia Insights, you with the click of a button, you now get to see in-depth analysis and insights over an existing report. So yeah, this is what Zoho Zia is all about. Now, before I wrap up, I want to quickly highlight two more advanced capabilities that takes Zoho Analytics even further. So yeah, here if you see, or if you have an expertise in ML, which is machine learning, the first option that Zoho Analytics has is Auto ML or automated machine learning, With AutoML in Zoho Analytics, you don't need to be a data scientist to build predictive models, right? The system can automatically identify the patterns, train models, and give you predictions. For example, predicting customer churn or identifying which campaign will likely perform better. And the second one is Code Studio. So this feature is designed for technical teams who would want to go beyond the drag and drop analytics. So with Code Studio, you can use languages like Python inside Zoho Analytics, which would open up advanced possibilities like sentiment analysis or recommendation engines and or even custom statistical models. So now both these AutoML and Code Studio are not included in the standard Zoho One bundle. However, if you have an expertise in machine learning or if your business is interested, we can enable these feature for evaluation on your request so you can experience their capabilities on the first hand. So if we step back and look at Trendycart's journey, they started with default reports in Zoho apps, struggled with Excel as they grew, and then adopted Zoho Analytics as a unified real-time view. They leveraged the advanced features like formulas, buckets, SQL, and unified metrics. Further, they built powerful reports and dashboards. They used forecasting to plan for the future, anomaly detection to catch problems early, and finally, ZIA to democratize data access to everyone. So, this entire journey shows us that analytics is not just about numbers on a screen, it is about transforming data into decisions and decisions into growth. So I'd encourage all of you to start exploring these advanced features in analytics. So every connector you build or every formula you apply and every forecast you run brings you closer to discovering the insights and can truly transform your business. So it is not always just about managing the data. It is about making that data work for you. So yeah, I will leave you all with this thought. So they say that world is one big data problem, right? The goal is to turn this data into information and information into insights. With Zoho Analytics, you are already in that journey. So start exploring and make the best out of all these advanced features. That is all from me. If you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A box. And thank you all for your time.